Welcome to this space, where today's story is a quiet revolution for those who feel too much, give too much, and lose themselves in the process. It's about empaths and narcissists, two extremes on the same spectrum. And most importantly, it's about reclaiming inner worth without needing anyone else to approve of it. There's something unique about people who deeply feel the emotions of others. Empaths. Their hearts tune in like antennas, picking up every signal in the room. But here's the twist. This beautiful sensitivity, when unbalanced, becomes a trap. It makes good people block the very connections they long for, simply because the inner belief says, only when others are happy, I deserve to exist. Where does that belief even come from? Childhood, usually. In many homes, one child turns into an empath, another into a narcissist. And no, this isn't about labeling. It's about survival mechanisms. The empath tries to stay safe by pleasing, blending in, becoming whatever others need. The narcissist builds walls, disconnects from emotions entirely, and puts themselves on a pedestal to avoid being hurt. Same storm, different umbrellas. Empaths often come from families where love was conditional. Maybe a critical parent or a chaotic household made safety feel like something that had to be earned by being quiet, helpful, or invisible. So the empath expands their energy field, especially in the lower chakras, those tied to survival, willpower, and creativity. They reach outward with those energies, scanning the environment, trying to sense who's upset, who's disappointed, who might withdraw love, not to fix it, but to survive. But here's the heartbreak. When identity is built around pleasing, there's no room left to lead, no room to grow, no space to say, no, this is what I need. Empaths become the background characters in their own lives, gentle, kind, and deeply exhausted. That's why promotions are missed. That's why relationships become one-sided. Because while others are moving forward boldly, the empath is stuck, asking silently, is everyone okay with me? And when someone is shaped like water, fluid, adaptable, self-erasing, how can polarity ever happen in a relationship? There's no tension, no spark, no contrast. Just one person bending, the other shaping them, until even love feels like obligation. Here's the truth that hurts before it heals. Constantly morphing for others is not love. It's fear. It's the fear of being rejected, alone, or unloved. But love, real love, requires something stronger than shape-shifting. It requires being seen, as is. It's not selfish to say, this is what I want. It's not wrong to say, that hurt me. It's not unkind to say, no. But for an empath, saying no feels like betrayal. So instead, they say yes, even when it burns. And the more this happens, the more resentment grows beneath the surface. This pattern doesn't just affect the heart, it distorts the energy. When the body is always scanning for approval, energy leaks out. Others sense it and take advantage, often unintentionally. And the empath becomes drained, confused, unsure where they end and others begin. To heal, something radical is needed. Not more giving, not more fixing, but boundary, presence, a coming home to the body, energy pulled inward, not scattered outward, and above all, a release of the idea that someone else's happiness equals worth. It starts with small choices. Asking, do I really want to do this? What would I say if I weren't afraid of disappointing anyone? What decision honors me, not just them? And then saying it, softly, firmly, lovingly, no, thank you. Empowerment begins with clarity, with knowing that when others are upset, it doesn't mean danger. It just means they're upset. And that's okay. People are allowed to have their feelings. It's not the empath's job to absorb them all. The child within, the one who tiptoed around adults' emotions to feel safe, deserves more now. Deserves space to breathe, cry, create, be loud, say yes with joy, and no without guilt. Meanwhile, the narcissist, on the other end, isn't evil, just wounded in another way. While the empath merged to survive, the narcissist disconnected to protect. They built walls so high that they lost touch with empathy altogether. But that's their work, not the empath's responsibility to fix. There's a dangerous dance here. Narcissists often gravitate toward empaths, not because of love, but because empaths don't fight back. Don't challenge, don't walk away. It's a match made not in heaven, but in unhealed trauma. And it must be broken. For the empath to stop manipulating through guilt, for the narcissist to stop manipulating through fear, and for both to stop calling control connection. Healing doesn't mean becoming cold or guarded. It means becoming whole. It means learning to be vulnerable without apologizing, crying when things hurt, walking away when things break, saying, "This is me. If that's not enough, I'm still okay." This isn't a speech about rebellion. It's an invitation to come home, to breathe in one's own skin, to know that worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion, that boundaries aren't walls, they're doorways, to a life that feels safe, strong, and real. And no, it won't feel easy. At first, it may feel terrifying, especially when others react, get upset, or pull away. But that's not a sign to shrink. That's a sign of growth. Because when authenticity takes center stage, anything that was built on pleasing starts to fall apart. And that's okay. Let it fall. Let it all fall away. And what remains will be real. The self, the soul, the light. And that is more than enough.